Hey folks, Marcus here from the Ashland Fly Shop. We're just at the beginning of summer steelhead fishing, and we wanted to come out to talk a little bit about the Scandi lines that we carry in the shop and the ones that I really like to use and how I use them. So here's a setup that I use quite a bit. It's a 12.5 foot 6 weight, and I've got a 420 grain Rio Scandi short. And then off the end of that, this Scandi line in particular throws floating poly leaders or 10-foot light Scandi Versa leaders very well, and you can throw them 3 inch per second, 5 inch per second, and it throws those setups very well. And that's why I like the Rio Scandi short. It's really versatile. It does dry fly fishing well, handles the tip well. You can throw a pretty wind resistant dry fly on there, and you can also throw all your traditionals, and then anything like a hobo spay, it'll turn over just fine too. So it's a really nice, versatile option, and really for a Scandi line that's in your traditional length in that kind of 30 to 35 feet, it's probably my favorite. We also carry the AIRFLO Rage head, which is similar to the Scandi short. It's a couple feet shorter, and it's got a more aggressive rear taper, and it doesn't taper down as fine in the front taper. So if you're fishing situations that are really windy, you're trying to punch, or you're trying to turn over a little bit bigger Versa leader or a bigger fly, it's a really, really nice line for that. So once we get into shorter Scandi lines, we've got two different options, and that's the Scientific Angler Spay Light Scandi and the Rio Scandi Body. And they're fairly similar in design. They're in the 22 to 25 foot range as far as the head goes. And that part of the line comes from the back portion of the taper. So it's where a lot of the weight is. And these lines are really nice for turning over sink tips. You can also fish dry line on them, but for turning over like a 10 or 12 foot piece of type 3 or type 6, they're a really nice option for that. And the cool thing about the Spay Light is it comes in a head and an integrated line. So if you had a setup where you were really liking a certain grain and you didn't want to deal with loop-to-loops, that Spay Light Scandi gives you the option to get a fully integrated line all the way up to 420 grains, which is really cool, which would fish on most of our 6 weights that we carry. So between the Rio Scandi short, the AIRFLO Rage head, Scientific Angler Spay Light, and the Scandi Body, we've got a couple different options that help fill out your fishing that you'd be doing from first week of July all the way to around here, maybe mid-October is when we'd start to put the Scandi lines away. So thank you very much for tuning in.